This special meeting to order, the City Commission of Rio Grande City. It is Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024. It is 6:03 p.m. and we're in Commission Chambers here at City Hall, 5332 East US Highway 83, Suite A, Rio Grande City, Texas. At this time, we'll have the invocation by Commissioner.
Commissioner Delemo.
Commissioner? We'll have the invocation by Commissioner Escobedo, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Ramirez.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, we thank you for all the blessings that you have given us, and we ask that you continue to bless this great city of Rio Grande, that you give us the wisdom and understanding to move this city forward. We know that we can't do anything without you, Lord, so we ask you to be with us. We ask for all the employees that are working hard in the city that you protect them. We ask all this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
honor to the flag and pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
Thank you, Commissioner Escobedo, Commissioner Ramirez. This time we have roll call and finding of quorum. Ms. Solis,
Mayor Villarreal,
present.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Here.
Commissioner De Leon, Commissioner Olivares, Commissioner Escobedo.
Here.
We do have quorum, sir.
Thank you. Next item is 1C, public forum. Do we have anyone signed up for public forum?
No one signed up for public forum, sir.
Next item is 1D, proclamation of Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. And I'll be having the honors of reading that proclamation. So we have proclamation, Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month, whereas on February 26, 1987, President Ronald Reagan officially declared Proclamation 5613, formally recognizing March as National Disabilities Awareness Month and calling for people across the community, the state, and across the United States to provide understanding, encouragement, and opportunities to help persons with disabilities to lead productive and fulfilling lives. And whereas the month of April 2024 in the city of Rio Grande City will be observed as Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month to raise awareness about the lives and rights of persons with disabilities and to celebrate their contributions to our communities and society as a whole. And whereas all individuals, agencies, and organizations supportive of people with disabilities are encouraged to recognize the month of April with appropriate observances and activities directed toward increasing public awareness of the contributions and the potential of Americans with disabilities. And whereas the mission of the city of Rio Grande City is to partner with the individuals with developmental disabilities and their families to support lifelong planning and to join with others to create and promote meaningful opportunities for individuals to fully participate as valued members of their communities. Now, therefore, I, Joel Villarreal, Mayor of the great city of Rio Grande City, and our City Commission, do hereby officially proclaim April 2024 as Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. And at this time, do we have anyone from the district? We're partnering with the district.
Yes, thank you very much. Commission, Mayor Villarreal and Commission. I just here on behalf of Marisela O. Garcia. She's the Director of Special Services in our school district. And on behalf of her, the Special Services Department, the School Board of Trustees, Superintendent Peña, our teachers, especially our students, we'd like to thank you for this proclamation and the recognition of the Disability Walk. Now, we'd also like to thank the city for collaborating with the district and with our department, which is a Special Services Department, because it is a beautiful thing to see our community working together, raising this awareness. So thank you very much. Our annual awareness walk is this Friday. We are beginning at 9 in the morning. Everybody is welcome. The whole community is welcome. Of course, we target our students and we recognize our students at this walk. We are also accepting any donations as far as toys. This year, Ms. Lisa Barrera, right here behind me, her goal was to give every child a memory. Last year, we had raffles, so not every child got a memory. This year, what we're doing is that her goal was to give every single child a memory. So if anybody out there in the community is willing to give us any donations or any toys, we are more than welcome. We're with the district and we're at the Special Services Department. So thank you very much. I would love to take a picture with the proclamation if that is possible. Yes?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And thank you to the school district for that partnership and collaborations that certainly go a long ways. And again, it's for this awareness this Friday. So everyone's invited to be out there and certainly looking forward to that continued partnership and collaboration. So with that, you can certainly take a picture. We'll have this. Thank you very much. Next, business and orders, item 1E, proclamation of Autism Awareness Month. And Commissioner Ramirez will have the honors.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Autism Awareness Month, whereas the Center of Disease Control, CDC, estimates that 1 in every 68 children in the United States are among the more than 2 million Americans living with autism spectrum disorder, or ASD. And whereas autism is a reality that affects millions of families every day, and while our nation has made progress in supporting those with ASD, we are only beginning to understand the factors behind the challenges they face. And whereas during Autism Awareness Month, we recommit to helping individuals on the autism spectrum reach their full potential, and whereas early diagnosis and treatment are essential for those affected by autism spectrum disorder, we support any healthcare system that works for children and adults with ASD. Children and adults with ASD. And whereas each person should have the opportunity to live full, independent lives and follow their talents wherever they lead, in April, we recognize those with ASD who are achieving and breaking down barriers. And now, therefore, Joel Villarreal, Mayor of Rio Grande City, and City Commission do hereby proclaim April 2024 as Autism Awareness Month. That's it. And I encourage all citizens to learn more and support individuals on the autism spectrum disorder and their families. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have Mr. and Ms. Martin. We're partnering up with, I believe it's the 27th. You want to say a few words, Ms. Martin, Mr. Martin?
Hello, everyone. We are glad to be here today. We are humbled and honored to represent so many families within the Stark County community. Most of them from Rio Grande City, but we service all Stark County. This has gotten so big. We are so proud and humbled because it's been not 7 years, but 10 years. The festival started 7 years ago. It's been quite a journey. Let's say that as a mother, I could say that autism does not affected my life, but changed it in a way that impact not only my life, but everyone else around me. We had to learn what autism was. I had to learn to communicate with other mothers of kids with autism, and I'm just only a face, but it's so many of them. I just want to thank them for trusting me and because this was all just a dream, and it's true just because of you, parents of kids with autism, just as us. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you all. Thank you for the city of Rio Grande City for allowing us to be together. This cause, it's bigger than anything else. And us understanding that proves that God always leads the way of the people that work for the good causes. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Mr. Martin?
Pues bueno, estamos aquí, primero que nada agradecerles, ¿verdad?, por ayudarnos a pasar este mensaje colectivo a la ciudadanía, por ayudarnos a abrir esa conciencia sobre esta lucha que no pedimos, nos tocó y la llevamos con orgullo. Dios nos quiso entregar esa bandera. Y pues aprovechando esta plataforma y con la ayuda que nos están dando de invitarnos aquí y poder esparcir un poquito más nuestro mensaje, quisiera hacer un llamado a eso, a la conciencia colectiva de los padres, no nada más de los padres especiales, sino de los padres que no tienen que llevar esa bandera, pero también tenemos que concientizarnos de que, como no sé si han escuchado la reflexión de Cartas a mi hijo, me llegó mucho a mí cuando estaba pequeño y algo parecido dice: lentamente se aproxima el tiempo que debo emprender el camino que no tiene regreso, refiriéndose a los padres, y eso todos estamos atravesando por ese camino que no tiene regreso. Tenemos que dejarle a nuestros hijos un mundo mejor, y ¿quién seríamos nosotros si no hacemos algo por hacer que eso pase? Entonces, les agradecemos que nos hayan invitado, les agradecemos que nos estén ayudando, que se estén poniendo la camiseta también a hacer la proclamación, como siempre, Mayor. Muchas gracias. Y pues los esperamos a todos y cada uno de ustedes en el 27 de abril, en el evento que hacemos de corazón para honrar a nuestros hijos, para hacer crecer esa conciencia colectiva. Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
And thank you, Mr. and Ms. Martin.
Gracias, doctor. Gracias por todo.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Rita. And thank you for the work that you do. And in fact, it is clear that the autism awareness has grown dramatically over the course of the last several years, and including last year, and I'm sure it's going to be even bigger and better this coming year. So with that, go ahead and move up here so we can take a photograph. Do you have the they will.
Here we go, ready, 1, 2, and 3, cheese. Okay, one more. Here we go, 1, 2, and 3, cheese. There you go.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Martin, it's a pleasure. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Olivares, got it?
Yes, sir.
No speeding person, no speeding?
No, I didn't speak. I didn't.
You got this one?
Se prendió otra vez. Sí, it was going down.
For the record, Commissioner Olivares is present. Next item is 1F, which is Proclamation of National Nutrition Month, March 2024, and Commissioner Escobedo will have the honors of reading this proclamation.
Whereas food is the substance for which life stands for, where the type, quality, and the amount of food that individuals consume each day play a vital role in their overall health and physical fitness. As whereas there is a need of continuing nutrition education and a wide-scale effort to in the health eating, and where therefore Joel Villarreal, Mayor of Rio Grande City, Texas, by virtue and the authority invested in me on behalf of the City Commission, do hereby proclaim May 2024 National Nutrition Month in Rio Grande City, Texas, and encourage all citizens to join the campaign and becoming concerned about their nutrition and the nutrition of others in the hope of achieving an optimum health for the both today and tomorrow.
Thank you, Commissioner Escobedo. Do we have anyone here representing
Nutrition Month.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for, reading the proclamation, commissioners and mayor, and everybody here today. I just want to put a spotlight on diet, where we do that every day. It's part of, you could say, the ABCs of being a human, right? It's something we do every day. We're going to be eating great food. Quality down here in the valley is obviously the best, right? We have great, awesome food. And, we also want to point just a spotlight to optimal health is very important to what we do, that it affects a part of our daily life. So what you eat, and it's going to affect mentally what you do, your position in your daily work life, your mood throughout the day. And so, I just thought it was important thing to do, talk about diet and, bring that concern to our community as health professionals in our community, as that's available to our people, and, putting it out there. Okay.
And you are a nutritionist, correct?
Correct, yeah. So I'm Isaac Ansaldo. I'm a dietitian, and there's few professionals here in our area that do what I do, and whether it being from being optimal, we talk about diet being optimal, or unfortunately some people get sick, and we teach them how to educate them how to eat better. That is also something that our profession does for the community. So from babies to adolescents, all stages of life, we're educating those people and assisting them to be trying to help them be at the best, just normal state daily, right? So I've seen that through all stages of life, and so the more you're in that profession, the more you notice that how important it is. So that's why I'm here.
I think it's so important, sir, especially in our culture.
Yeah.
Las tortillitas, frijolitos, barbacoa.
Yeah.
That we learn the right foods that we gotta eat. And thank you for doing what you do, sir.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You got to do a photograph.
Of course. Nutrition is important.
Absolutely.
So ready, 1, 2, and 3, one more, 1, 2, and 3.
This is a poster from back in the We are what we eat.
But it's so hard, sir, because the food is so good.
Especially when we do the pancita.
Yes, sir. Los chicharrones. But you know, it's all an education.
Absolutely. Next item is 1G, departmental reports. Chief Castillo.
Ms. Rubio, Ms. Becky, and Ms. Sarah. Yep.
Hello, Ms.
Good
Rubio.
evening, commissioners and mayor. How was everybody today?
Fantastic. Could not be any better.
It was a beautiful day today.
Yes, it was.
Weather was awesome. So I just want to remind everybody, I know we've already kind of talked about some of the events coming up this month. I'm just going to reiterate and then bring up a few more that we have. On 5th, which is this Friday, we have the Rio Grande City Gruya ISD Disability Awareness Walk, which we're collaborating with them. We're going to have a table there, see all the kids. It's going to be a great event. It's going to be in the morning, I believe from 9 to 12, or 9 to 1, I'm sorry. Then on the 10th is going to be the annual City of Rio Grande City State of the City, which everyone is welcome to watch on our Facebook Live. We're going to be live throughout the entire event, and you can see everything that's coming up in Rio Grande City. It's going to be a great event. We would like to thank all of the sponsors who helped make this event possible. We're going to have all of that posted as well, just so we can make sure to thank everybody that collaborated with us on this event. On the 13th of this month, we're going to have our annual Coloring Dash and Health Fair. We have been doing this event since 2016, and we are very excited. This year, we're going to do like a night glow-in-the-dark run, so it's going to be on Saturday, April 13th in the evening from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Basilio Villarreal Municipal Park. So come on out and join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun treats, and of course, we're going to have some health vendors come out and talk and give information out to our community.
It'll be a glow paint.
Glow paint, yes. Then on the 25th, the City of Rio Grande City, the annual Dia del Niño event at the Basilio Villarreal Park. The 25th is a Thursday. It's going to start, I believe, at 5 p.m. Yes, and it'll be there at the Basilio Villarreal Municipal Park. Our Rio Grande City Public Library is going to be giving out free books. Ms. Foltz is going to be giving out free books. We're going to have all of our departments are going to be participating. There's going to be a lot of fun activities. So bring the kids out. It's going to be fun. There's going to be performances from some of our school organizations and cheerleaders. So it's going to be a fun event. On the 27th, we are going to have the Autism Living Awareness Fest, as you just heard from Ms. Martin. It's the 7th annual, but she says it has been going on for 10 years. But this is the 7th annual festival that we've had at the Basilio Villarreal Park, and it's open. It's a free family event for everybody on Saturday, the 27th, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. I think that's everything in April. I hope I did not leave anybody out.
Thank you, Ms. Rubio.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Frank. I did leave someone off. The Pit Boss Cook-Off, first inaugural event on April 20th at the Basilio Villarreal Municipal Park. The Chamber of Commerce is going to be, the Rio Grande City Greater Chamber of Commerce is going to be hosting the first annual.
In partnership with the city.
In partnership with the city, I apologize. In partnership with the city, the first annual, I want to get the name right, Pit Boss Cook-Off Showdown. Yes, thank you. And there's going to be a car show. It's free for everybody to come on out, again, at the Basilio Villarreal Municipal Park. I believe I don't know what time it starts, off the top of my head.
It starts at noon.
It's an all-day event.
It starts at noon, but there'll be, as far as for those that have the car show, they're asking people to be there by 9 o'clock.
Yes.
So they can
get their spots. So 9 o'clock to kind of get your spot for the car show, and then the official festivities start at 12. It's going to be a fun event. Again, it's the first time that the chamber does this in partnership with the city. It's going to be fun.
They already have over 50, almost 60 participants for the car show. And of course, the the cook-offs. I know they have quite a bit of teams already,
Yes.
so
A lot of
course
teams.
performances.
If they need
and all
judges for the cook.
I will let them know that you're available just in case. They're still looking for judges. I'm sure we can add a few more in there.
that. We will be doing an episode of Panza Llena, Corazón Contento at the cook-off, so yes.
And don't forget the camera woman.
Of course.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So- Good.
We got
Thank you,
one
Ms.
more.
Rubio.
Thank you.
Chief Solis, can you tell us about the rabies clinic? That's also coming up.
Oh, the rabies clinic. Sorry.
Mayor, Commission, good afternoon. Just a friendly reminder to all our community that this Saturday we'll be having our annual rabies clinic. We do have about 50 vouchers still left. Excuse me. Anybody wanting to come by the police department Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. It is a first come, first serve, so it's only until supplies last. So it's going to be here at City Hall from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Saturday.
On Saturday. And how many vouchers per family or per household?
It's a maximum of 2 per household. Now, if you have more than 2 pets, there is a $19 fee that you could pay Dr. Margos's office.
All right.
Chief, what's the cost of a rabies vaccination on the norm?
On the norm, I believe it's $20-some. Dr. Margo has graciously given it to us for $19. And not only just for us, but if you are outside the city limits, yeah, that's what you would pay that same day. Any other day, it would be at normal price.
So again, for the public, there's still some vouchers left. Please follow up with, here at the police department.
At the police
right,
department. From 8 to 5.
8 to 5.
Our clerks there will help assist everyone, and they do need to bring a bill showing proof of residency for the city of Rio Grande City.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Chief.
Joey, I have a question. Should all dogs have the rabies shot, or is it only dogs that are outside or dogs that are inside don't need it?
It's recommended for any pet because they don't know if you let them out, they drink contaminated water
Got it.
or accidentally get bit by a wild animal. It's better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah. Thank you, sir,
Thank you.
for sharing that information.
Again, make sure that we continue to relay that information to the public this Saturday here at City Hall. So, rabies clinic, and there's still some vouchers left.
We got another few directors, but I mean also.
All right, absolutely. Hey. Hello, Ms. Foltz.
Hello. Mayor, Commission, we've got a lot of activities going on in Rio Grande City. It's a very exciting time to be
Yes, it
here.
is.
And it's unbelievable how many things we have. In addition to what Becky graciously reported, we have our everyday ongoing programs. We have one tomorrow. Every Wednesday, we have an adult class. It's a craft class, or we have, it's craft, nutrition, and, oh my gosh, I'm missing something, but it's on Wednesday mornings. We also partner for the first time, and then there's new partners that come in, like Texas A&M Health. For the first time, we'll be partnering with them. April 11th, we're having a diabetes clinic. They're going to be going throughout the Rio Grande Valley, and in Rio Grande City, the public library will be their stop. And then we'll also have, I don't know if y'all are aware, but April the 8th something will be happening on April the 8th throughout America.
Shoulder clips.
Have some glasses to give to you all.
Oh, thank you, Ms.
And
Foltz.
we have a very limited supply at the library, but we do have some, and we'll try to give out as many as we can. We're hoping to 1 per household, and we haven't given them out. You'll be the first ones.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Foltz. Again, solar eclipse happening this Monday. I believe it's April 8th.
Yes, yes.
So,
And on here, you have a little map of where it's going to hit in
right.
90%, so let's go for good weather.
thank you, Ms. Foltz.
Thank you so
Really
much.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
And it is a big thing, so.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Norma. Appreciate it.
So we'll have, is that partial eclipse here in the area, in certain areas of Texas, we'll have a complete eclipse, right, Ms. Foltz?
But if you go to
Yes, we included a little map where it'll show you where it's going to be. Of course, there's some that'll have that 100%. We're still in the 90%.
90%.
Tile, so we could possibly see something. Of course, they encourage everyone to just limit your use of the glasses. They're not for permanent use, and just that's why we feel confident in sharing the glasses with our family.
Thank you, Ms. Foltz. Appreciate your service. Lomas
Hey,
Hernandez.
Mayor and Commission, good evening. We received notice just a few days ago that we made the World Atlas 8 Best Small Towns to Retire in 2024.
Sounds excellent.
We're excited to announce that we got spotlighted with very good company, I must say, and they did make mention of some of the great locations that we have in Rio Grande City, and also indicated that average cost of homes here is $220,000, which is below the national average. And I know that that is something that our mayor and our commission promotes, that we have a wonderful place to live, to work, and to call home. The article is up there, and some of the other cities that were mentioned.
We're in
And
great
again,
company there, absolutely.
yes, and these are small cities. So a little bit about the World Atlas. It launched in 1994, and this article was written by Anadita Batia, and she writes about cities and towns all over the country, and one of the largest publishing resources in geography. In 2019, it served over 165 million readers around the world. So we're very excited to make it on this list. It was very
Absolutely.
unexpected. Just want to commend our commission, our amazing staff here at the City of Rio Grande City for making it a great place not only to live but to retire.
Well, and in fact, he took the words from me as far as a great place to live, to work, to forge the American dream, and to retire.
You can add that to your.
I gotta
you can
add that one to
your
it, so
speech.
absolutely. Hey, when I retire.
For the record, I'm retired, so.
He's
We
living
have
that dream already.
He's living proof this is a great place to retire, so.
And
Kudos to the
thank
city
you
of
to
Rhode
our
Island.
commission, thank you to our staff, to the community. I mean, this is a great honor to be considered, again, a great place to retire and being in the company, or great company.
Definitely.
And of course, we all know, we stress this, we know that the work is not done. We know that there's plenty of work to be done. But still, considering that this is a great compliment and recognition for our beautiful city, again, it's great to be part of that too. With everything else in mind, that we still have a lot of work, but nonetheless, to be recognized in such great company, kudos to everyone. Again, the staff, the commission, community at large, phenomenal. This is a great compliment to our city and
Yes,
to
sir.
everyone that's part of it. So, hey, any other comments, commissioners?
I do. I think it's one of the things that we're so used to our buildings and to our city. When other people come and they see our culture, our history, they see the beauty. I mean, it's like myself, we have Airbnbs, and when people come over and they see our home and it's a Spanish style, they're like, oh, for us it's normal. That's we're so used to our culture and our architectural buildings, that when they see these beautiful buildings, we are a gem, a city of a gem. And I think us people from Rio Grande have to be proud to live in such a beautiful city. And we just need to continue working hard, continue promoting our beautiful city, because it is the best city to live, I think, in the whole United States.
Yes, and we've gotten visitors from all over the world on our trolley tour. And I know there is still a lot of work to do to our historic district, but they are completely intrigued with the current status of our downtown area. Not everything has to be restored. Sometimes it's good to see how things were back then, and it takes you to a different time. So I think, yes, we're incredibly lucky to have the city that we have and everything in it.
Yes, we are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your hard work.
Yeah, and congratulations to all. Thank you.
Our whole community, sir.
Absolutely.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commission.
Hi, how are you?
I got a little small list of for new street lights. I'm gonna. This is just in Los Caribeños area. So you can see what we're gonna be working on.
Thank you, sir. How many lights are we talking about, sir?
In Los Caribeños area, right now we have about 34.
Okay.
We need to install more, like we can still add some more.
And all of these will be LED, sir?
Yes. It's gonna be 17 on the back of your that map. There's a list. That's gonna be Eisenhower from 3167 up to Fairgrounds. There's gonna be 17 LED lights, and the other 17 are inside the Los Treviños area, in the neighborhood.
And Mr. Barrera, are you working by sections?
Yeah, we're gonna be working on sections. Right now, we're in Los Treviños area, then we'll go to towards Roque Guerra, and we'll be working on sections.
Thank you, sir. Yes, very much needed, sir. Lighting.
And
Thank you, Mr. Barrera. And just to reiterate that point, that we are working on this mapping to make sure that we identify the areas that require the lighting. And again, this is an effort to retroactively go back to some of these neighborhoods that, again, many times have been, or should I say, predating the incorporation of the city, and therefore now going back, because now any new development, of course, one of the first things that we ask for is proper lighting, proper, of course, streets and so on. But some of these is the commission and everyone else, the staff, to retroactively or retrofit some of these areas with additional lighting that was not planned before. So with that, thank you, Mr. Barrera.
Thank you.
And again, the commission and the staff, that we're working on this and slowly mapping out now. Again, it's going to take time, but definitely this is something that we've already
now,
had in the works for some time.
Right now, the ones that are off, they're installing them with the LED, so that's one good thing.
Yes, very good.
And that's one of the things that we communicate with AAP, so that, because they're the ones in charge of
Yes, right now we're
replacing those
working
lights.
with Raúl Treviño from AEP, so he's working together with our department.
These lights will be installed in existing poles, or are we going to be adding new poles?
No, it's got an existing pole.
Existing poles.
Yeah, we got the pole numbers and the coordinates on each pole.
Very good. Then when can we expect this project to start?
We're waiting for a quote first of all.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Barrera.
Mr. Barrera.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission.
Good evening.
Just to let you
How are
know, on the Parks and Rec Department, we're on our second week with youth basketball already. And we're on our second week, we're partnering up with Pony League. We're in our second week too there at the Basilio Herrera Park. So
The season opener went without a hitch.
it's going well.
Can't say that about the Astros, right? But for those Astros fans, I don't know.
Hey, but they threw no hitter last night.
That's right. Hey, and it was oblivious because women's basketball, NCAA took over, which was phenomenal to see. You haven't caught the NCAA women's tournament. It's phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal. The men, okay, but the women's basketball at this level took over the Astros like a no-hitter, and yet it was, kind of like a bleep at the end.
Breaking records.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at right now with other departments.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Yes, sir.
Anyone else?
I think that's it, Mayor.
All right. Thank you, everyone, again, for all the hard work, dedication, commitment, and we're striving and making Rio Grande City, again, a better place to live, to work, towards the American dream, and now to retire as well. So, by all means, congratulations to all. Next item is 2 consent agenda, letters A and B.
I so move, Mayor.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 2A and 2B by Commissioner Escobedo, second by Commissioner Olivares. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Next item is 3 presentation by Brian Cole of Vortex International for Municipal Park Splash Pads. We have Mr. Cole. Is it Cole? Am I pronouncing it correctly, Mr. Cole?
You are correct.
Cole. Go ahead, Mr. Cole.
All right, well, thank you so much for having me tonight. A lot of exciting things going on, so kind of to be part of that. Wanted to kind of start off first by, just kind of talking a little bit about, I know at a high level, really want to make this more focused on kind of the planning and design phases and things to consider. Really, I'm not going to make this really vortex focused. Let me kind of share my screen. My hosting is disabled. I don't know if somebody can fix that for me. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect, okay. I'm going to get into my presentation, and I shared the link to this, so I didn't want this to be something that, I wanted this to be something that everyone has access to take this forward and use this as an informational guide. So first off, and I'm going to keep the navigation kind of up because I'm just going to walk you through kind of where we're going to go in this. And I'm going to really try to be respectful of everyone's time. This could command a lot longer time. I'm really going to try to be as concise as possible. We'll cover a little bit, about us. We'd be remiss if we didn't. But I really want to spend a decent amount of time focusing on the planning for design section, which is going to go about, we're going to be talking about different play experiences that we want to offer, as well as considerations when you're going through budgeting, planning for capacity. Again, some of the other services that we provide, and I think one of the very important keys is the system that we're going to be using. So there are 2 basic kinds of systems: a flow-through system where we're using potable water at the city source, we're passing it through the features, we'll kind of talk about that, and the recirculation system. We will give a couple of sample designs as well that we've done kind of in the region. And I picked these were completely just what were the last 2 projects that we've done. They're not even actually 100% complete. One, Cole Park, which is right on Shoreline in Corpus Christi, and the other is GI Forum, which is in Del Rio. So these were just the last 2 projects. That's why I picked them, no more, no less. I did want to go over kind of a new feature that I think is really important. When I met with Frank last week, we kind of shared a little bit about this feature. It is kind of getting beyond just splash pads and water slides and other features. So that's just a little bit of the outline of what we're going to cover. So let me get right in there so we can just kind of go through this. If at any point you have a question, feel free to stop me and ask. I want this to be as free-flowing as possible. Just Vortex at a very high level, founded in 1995 in Montreal, Canada. We really did pioneer the splash pad, quite literally. Been around for a long time. We've worked, it says 8,000 custom installations, really more like 9,000 now, 50 different countries, 5 continents, right? Great. What's more importantly to, I think, the city is what we've done in your region specifically. So I wanted to make sure that there was a good overview of projects that we've done in the Texas market. Just for your knowledge, Texas is the biggest market for Vortex globally. So we've done hundreds of projects. They're not all included in these 4 pages. You can see we're kind of breaking them down into regions, all the way from north, south, upper Gulf Coast, certainly in my area of Houston. So when you guys were talking about the Astros, that hurt a little bit, but we did get a no-hitter. So, and I was watching women's basketball as well, but I turned it on and I didn't even know what was going on. It was the 9th inning, so I was like, "What? Okay, there's a no-hitter going." So that was a good surprise. But as you can see, we've done a ton of work in Texas. a little bit about just me, my background real quick. Just, former Marine, I got into recreation a little over 5 years ago. So I've spent a lot of time in dry playgrounds. I've kind of touched it all. So kind of a combination of aquatics, dry playgrounds, other site amenities, surfacing, you kind of name it. I have a pretty decent broad background and kind of everything that would touch a park system, and so I'm pretty familiar with the manufacturers, etc. Happy to be a resource any way that I can, even beyond what we're talking about today. So let's get into just some of the play experiences, which I really find is one of the most important, factors in building a splash pad. In just the lady that was talking before, I actually was hitting home as well, because my wife is a behavior analyst who is the director of several autism clinics across Texas. So when you talk about the things that you have to provide, for a wide range of children, there's a lot more that goes into what we're doing than just running some water through features and splashing children. We want to deliver as many of these, experiences as we can, given the space that we're given, right? But we're going to try to touch all of these. We want to give children sensory experiences, tactile. I think us as adults, we take water for granted. But when you look at children experiencing it, if you've ever done that, which I'm sure most of you have, when you look at children have some of the first experiences they have with water, I mean, it's very powerful. They love the way that water moves, the way that it flows. They want to manipulate it, all kinds of things. So we're focusing on many different things that we're trying to accomplish on a splash pad. The next slide kind of goes even at a different angle of this. If you kind of look at this spectrum, this is what we're really wanting to accomplish. We want to have everything from contemplative experiences all the way through the middle to kind of exploratory, imaginative, where they start imagining what things are, playing games, all the way to the kind of more anticipatory, kind of thrilling experiences. And I particularly would focus on that left picture, on the contemplative zone, because there's a study done a handful of years ago that was just looking at the basic demographic of children that are actually going to parks, right? And about 80 to 85% of children are 7 and under. So that really gives you an understanding of who we're actually serving. So we want things to be, I have 2 young children, talk about it all the time, because frankly, that's what I've used to learn most of the things that I've learned in this industry, are by watching my own children play. And, I have a 5 and a 2-year-old, and my 5-year-old doesn't like to be splashed in the face. She wants different types of experiences. So extremely important that we're offering as many things as we can. You talk about, I'm sorry, was somebody asking a question?
No.
Okay, sorry about that. So moving on, just some of the things to factor in when breaking down your costs. Of course, there's the products, there's the water management system, which we'll talk more about in a minute. Also installation, some concerns on infrastructure, other amenities, of course, and the operational costs. So kind of on the second page is a good little worksheet, that we can kind of work through. I know to my understanding, we're very, very early in the stages now, right? So that's why I wanted to make this presentation more focused on planning for this, on questions that need to be asked and answered, and kind of a direction chosen before we kind of get to the fun stuff of designing and what it's gonna look like, and the colors or the elements. There's so much more that kind of needs to be checked before we get to that point. And so just happy to kind of provide any information that I can. Here's also a very critical thing. I know Frank was talking about this we're kind of wondering like how big we make this, like how big should we make it, right? So of course they come in all shapes and sizes, but I want you to kind of focus on this middle thing. This is what's optimal. So what really needs to kind of be discussed is how many children do we think are gonna be using this at peak times? and then just try to, with the best of our ability, with the budget that we're operating under, try to hit this mark, of 25 square feet per person. So that gives you an idea of 1,000 square feet can support 40 children. So this is just good information to have when we're trying to plan out what the footprint is going to be. Moving on, how we kind of calculate, there are, of course, are different things. There's some things that are single user, some things that are multi-user. You see with the big buckets where there's a group of kids, and there's things that are interactive that may be 2 or 3 children. So this is kind of how we go about calculating how many kids can use a particular grouping of features. And we're here to support you every step of the way. We from our kind of operational business management, the way that we plan for capacity really throughout the year. Of course, our design and engineering capabilities as well. And, we partner with, the very best pool builders, and installers all across the state. So we've partnered with quite a few. They go through our certification process and, have in many cases have touched our equipment dozens of times. Something as well, just for, of course, like installation and training. Should this be a water quality management system? Should this be a recirculation system where we're recycling the water? We offer a 2-day training where we're going to come down, we're going to work with your staff, we're going to train them, and of course our customer service support, which I think is second to none. But let's kind of spend some time on the water management itself. There are 2 basic kinds that we use. There is a third I'll briefly touch on, but for the most part, we're talking about 2 different systems. We're talking about a flow-through system, very simple, as you can see from the diagram. You're hitting the activation, it's sending the signal to the manifold, it's pumping water out to the features, potable water, which is then hitting the drain, it is going to your wastewater system. That easy. Of course, some of the pros of this are it is lower maintenance, it is lower cost. You are also using water, which is a valuable resource. So those are just kind of some of the pluses and minuses. Of course, the installation is typically less as well because you're not installing a system. These are kind of some of the ways that we accomplish this. So when we're really just talking about a manifold and a controller at that point, there are 2 basic options. We really don't do a vault too much. We want to try to eliminate the possibility of water getting in that. So really, for all intents and purposes, really talking about the cabinet or a wall-mounted system. Like, a wall-mounted system will go in a room, in a chase of sorts. The equipment cabinet can be, kind of contained in some landscaping, kind of adjacent to the splash pad. We recommend that wherever this manifold goes is approximately within 100 feet of the splash pad. That's going to just cut down on some of your installation costs. So it's just, again, when you're planning these spaces, super important to kind of think through all these things. Getting into the recirculation, get more involved, right? So, we've got this basic diagram of the activation being hit, sends a signal to the water management system, to the command center. It's going to send water to the features. It's going to drain out. It's going to hit number 4, which is our debris trap, and rainwater control, which means when the splash pad's not operating, we don't want rainwater getting in the system, mixing with your chemicals, right? So it's going to divert that water at that point. So it's a very important feature. It's going to obviously pick up any debris that comes through that system. It's going to go to your tank, and it's going to start recycling that water about every 30 to 40 minutes, just given the tank size. Something really just important, again, when you're looking at this is, again, planning for space is even more important with this, right? You've got a big tank. It's going to be either, 2 to 3, maybe 4,000 at the most. It's going to be somewhere around there. It's a pretty big tank. We need to understand where it's going to go. Where is the system going to go? Is it going to be, and where the debris trap is going to go? So all those things in relation, and again, we have all the technical drawings on our end. We can help you plan that space out and give our recommendations. Not a problem. Two of the main kind of features of how we do a recirculation system is either a modular system that goes in a room, approximately 12 to 16 feet, just to give you an example, but where we're fixing all of, the pump, the manifold, the UV system, the controller, the power pack. Or we kind of have this solution called the dome pack, which is an enclosure that is kind of buried. It's about 50% under a subsurface and 50% over. It's got a little, door that rolls down, kind of like a garage door, if you will, where everything is contained right there, right? It's got the manifold, all the controllers, valves, and the chemicals are kind of off to the side. You can sort of see on the right-hand side of one of the containers. So there's a couple of different options, and we can definitely work with you through that. Some of the other considerations of just what you need to plan for, is the power requirements, etc. Won't go through all of these, but it's there for you as a resource, and we can certainly talk through that, at a deeper, more granular level as we kind of go on. And
of the systems that you have installed, how many would you say are the flow through versus the recirculation? Is it municipalities mainly go with flow through, or they mainly go with the recirculation? The ones that you have installed, as far as municipalities are concerned.
I would say with municipalities, it is way more common to do a recirculation system because they have the staff. A lot of what we do too is we do a lot of work in master plan communities. We work a lot with developers and landscape architects, especially here in the Houston area. So when it comes to working with developers or private funds, we tend not to do as many, right? Because they don't have the staff. This is daily maintenance. It's daily maintenance. It's testing the chemicals every day, and we just really want to be upfront about that, right? This is, it is a daily maintenance that's going to be required to run that system, smoothly, and it's a great system, right? It's a great solution. But I would say yes, on the municipal side, much more likely, most of the ones that we do are going to be recirculation systems. And if they're flow through systems, we tend not to have, struggle too much with water restrictions, in certain areas. So that's going to dictate it as well, as we probably do more, even when we're doing flow through systems where we're using water, we call it actually smart flow. That's actually the term we use because, again, even when we're in a scenario where we have plenty of water, we're still going to be smart about it. We're not going to design a flow through splash pad that has, is using 150 gallons a minute. I mean, we have 200 features that have different flows and different water effects, and we can, create something pretty beautiful with a minimal amount of water. So we can get to that point with some guidance on what's, prudent, I should say. But yes, sorry, that's a long-winded answer, but yes, I would agree. On the municipal side, we definitely do more recirculation systems because of the staff and capacity that they have to kind of perform that daily maintenance. So moving on, again, this is just some different things to consider as well. Won't dive too deep in that. Some of the mechanical room, you can see kind of some of the other requirements for the containment systems, 2,000 to 6,000 gallons there on the right, kind of depending. It is important to size that tank appropriately. I know that going from, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, it is a little more money, but the best way that you can keep your water pure is having, more of it, right? I have seen scenarios where people go with, they want to go with smaller tanks and they end up using a tremendous amount of water because I'll give you an example. There's a larger destination park that we did some years ago in San Antonio, and it's a Pearsall Park. It's a very big park. There's running hills and things of that nature, and people almost use the splash pad as like a way to really cool off, like after they've run and maybe they have chemicals on them, right? Whether it be sunscreen or something to that effect. And they had a hard time keeping their they really probably needed a larger tank. But the moral of the story was they were actually having to dump their tank quite a bit because they did not have a large enough tank. So that water was getting, it wasn't diluted enough, I should say. So these are things that we're happy to make these recommendations, and really work with you to kind of get it right on the first go. Some of the maintenance just, daily and weekly. I think this is just really important just to have, right? And just to look at, to understand kind of what all is involved. Again, we're here to help you. We have the best service team in the industry, bar none. And we're always here for you. I'm always a point of contact as well. But just as far as just planning for, who's going to be responsible for it, the team, of course, we're going to train you. But these are just good things to consider to try to manage, the capacity of your own team, right? And some of the kind of monthly beginning of season, the winterization at the end of season, et cetera. So. Council, I'm so sorry. That one kind of snuck up on me, so I don't want to spend too much time on the video. I'm going to go ahead and get through to the end, so we can kind of just wrap it up. That's something that you guys can kind of watch when you get a chance. So kind of moving forward to some of the kind of case study projects that the city can kind of look at as possible examples, or possible just points of inspiration, or really just kind of comparing the potential scale of the project. All right, I just wanted to kind of highlight these. This is Cole Park. This is almost getting to completion at this point. So, as you can see here, this is just
What's the square footage on that one, Mr. Cole? What's the square footage on that one, just as an example?
I will be able to tell you in just a couple of slides. I have the splash zone kind of coming up. So if we kind of look at some of the features, again, this is a fairly, standard kind of design, this one also is a recirculation system. We're obviously not kind of showing it in the renderings, but this particular system was provided by the contractor and not Vortex, but you can just kind of see, not too many features. I mean, it's a pretty modest, kind of on the smaller side for a recirculation system for sure. If you kind of look at, again, some of the play value planning that we kind of talked about, you can kind of see, though, although it is, it's modest in size, but look at how much thought is going on into what we're doing. We want to make sure that there's a toddler space, a space for families, a space for teens, and then all of the different play experiences that we're trying to offer here. We couldn't hit all of them, in the space, but we tried, and we tried to do as many as we possibly could, given the, footprint that we had. But this is something that we're always thinking about and always looking at. And to answer your question, there we go. The total area, let me move my little chart. So, the spray area itself, this is also a good sheet to look at because it lets you kind of know how we need to plan for the footprint. So the spray area is 2,000 feet. We're looking at, we do need a total area of 3,000 because, as you kind of see here, if you can see my cursor, we need to have 5 feet outside the spray zone where we're actually doing a 1% to 2% slope back in to hit that drain, because we sure don't want to lose water, right? So we want to make sure that we're carefully, plotting these things out where we're going to be able to capture that water, send it back to the drain. You're going to lose some water, even in a recirculation system. You're going to lose it through evaporation and carry off and, things like that. But we want to try to minimize as much as possible. So we do require a 5-foot buffer zone where we're again sloping back to the inside to those drains to make sure that we're using as little water as possible. Go to the next section where we'll kind of go over GI form. Now GI form is a good example of a little bit of a larger project. So the just to give you an idea, the equipment costs of this plus the system itself was about, I don't mind sharing it, I think it's good information to have, was about $275,000 for all of the play features and the water management system itself, just to give you an idea. I can give you more granular numbers on the installation numbers as well, but I think it's a good place to start. So you can see this is, a little bit of a larger footprint. There's a little more going on, a little bit more splash, a little bit more water effects. A little more, we've got some circuit, with these spray loops, as well. So we're offering some different things here. It turned out really, really good design. And so you can see kind of what we're accomplishing here with the family toddler broken up a little different. And, we're getting into things like more iconic play, more circulation, more sensory and tactile, which is super important. So, anyway, I wanted to use these as just a reference of what some of your neighboring communities, at least not too terribly, I know that Del Rio isn't exactly right next door, neither is Corpus, but pretty darn close. And this is, the kind of projects that they've done with us here recently. You can look at this. This is actually interesting enough. It just looks like it's actually the same footprint roughly. But we're kind of accomplishing kind of a lot more in that space. So, there is a lot of different ways to go about it. We want to definitely take the lead on the design, but we want your direction and input, of course. But we're happy to take the lead and to really kind of take your vision and make that come true. I did want to share one thing real quick, and then we'll wrap up. And I really appreciate the time. I know it's been a little bit of time spent here. Wanted to show you something of our new feature called the Abrio. So this is a configuration of shade, seating, and water. It's solar powered. It also has a kind of water table feature that maybe you saw right there, where there's polymers that are able to be slid, and you can kind of divert the water, and it's a kind of a little play / zen feature. All of the canopies, like you see there, have solar panels. Completely operable with an app, actually. So you can control all of that on the app. So it's just a really cool feature. We really love it, and it is kind of thinking beyond the splash pad. As you can see there, it's user activated. So it's not something that runs continuously through the day. It has to be activated.
We'll begin to wrap it up, Mr. Cole. Any questions by commissioners before we?
Mr. Cole, you mentioned also sensors, so that's a good point, right? Because I think if the park's not being used, there's no water flowing through the different areas.
Correct. Everything that we do is user activated. And so I'm actually going to stop sharing for a minute, if you don't mind, and come back to you guys. But, which is very important when we're planning out how much water consumption that we are doing, say for a flow through system. we kind of calculate that, if you looked at some of those designs, they also had, when we were looking at the splash zones, are also giving you the gallons per minute that are being used. Kind of a rough formulation of that is, say we have a design that has 100 gallons a minute, and that's what it's designed to do. Our sequencing goes for 4 minutes. So when a user hits the activation, it goes on a 4-minute cycle. So it goes 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, and 1 minute. During that time, features are turning off, they're turning on. And so after that sequencing is done, not everything is running during that 4 minutes. So about 70% of what the system's designed to do, say if it's 100 GPM, you're only going to see about 70 being used. And we kind of factor that the systems usually only run about 70% of the time. So if you really do 100, and go 70%, then 70%, you're really at about 50% of what the system's designed to do. So on average, for a design that is designed for 100 GPM, you're only really going to be using about 50 ultimately. Is a good way to think about that.
Thank you, Mr. Cole.
So anyway, I really appreciate the time. I know I wanted to, that could have gone an hour. Obviously, I didn't want to do that now. I really wanted to, but I did think it was important just to kind of hit some of the high points of not just, we can get to the fun stuff, and of, again, what the features we really like, the things that speak to us, the colors, all that. But I wanted to kind of just at least touch on the planning phase, because that's really where I think projects become successful or unsuccessful, is really right at the beginning. And it's just having clear expectations and all the good information kind of at your fingertips, to where you all do it, you do best, which is make the decisions for the community. We just want to be a resource for that. So we didn't want to spend a ton of time talking about us. Just wanted to give some high level information, and we're always here and available to come back and do it again, or dig deeper on a particular issue. So just thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Cole, we'll have some information here to digest over the course of the next few weeks, but thank you so much for this comprehensive presentation. I know it could have gone longer, but certainly this gives us plenty to digest over the course of the next several weeks. So thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you very much, Council. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Next item is 4 resolutions. Letter A, discuss, consider, and adopt resolution number 2024-12, a resolution authorizing the submission of a Texas Community Development Block Grant Program application to the Texas Department of Agriculture for the Downtown Revitalization Program.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners.
Yes, how are you?
We're doing good. It's good to hear all the good news about the city, and this project will be just the same to keep on, taking care of our Main Street, our downtown historic district. So, like I mentioned last time, this is a fast and furious application process. There are 2 phases. First phase is to get the city eligible to apply, so we can get invited to go on to the second phase and apply for up to $500,000. So this first resolution is authorizing that submission. We don't have the project right now. We just know we are submitting first the qualifications to the city. We do have an idea what we want to do. Like I mentioned last time, we want to put those ADA ramps, better lighting, the hydraulic lift for the kiosco, and possibly some more lighting throughout the historic district. By the 15th, we should be notified to go on to the second phase, and then the full application with the budget and the plans will be due on August 30th. So this resolution is the authorization to submit.
We entertain a motion at this time. A motion by Commissioner Olivares, a second by Commissioner Escobedo. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Next item is 4B, discussion, consideration, and adoption resolution number 2024-13, a resolution determining that Rio Grande contains areas which are determined to be, is it blighted or lighted?
Blighted. Now, I know it might sound like a negative thing, but we do have some areas within the historic district, within the Main Street district, that have some uneven sidewalks, that have no ramps or curb cuts for accessibility. some dark areas and the lighting. So this, naming this area as a blighted area is not completely negative. It's just to address those issues under the program. So we are basically recommending that the whole historic district, which is the Main Street district, to be designated as a blighted area. And the district is from 6th Street all the way to Water Street, and from Fairgrounds all the way to Pete Diaz. So it's a large area where we'll have plenty of projects to bring forward under this program.
All right. Do we entertain a motion at this time? Or any other considerations on that terminology as in blighted? Any?
It's
bottom line is to address the needs based on the language for the purposes of this grant.
Yeah.
Correct. And
This money comes from the Federal Housing and Urban Development, and it was initially established to address areas in the large cities that were very dense populated with buildings, and so a lot of what we call ghettos were coming up. So that's why, the term remained as slum and blighted. So now that it's addressed throughout the nation in the program.
I move that we approve item 4B.
okay, we have a motion to approve item 4B by Commissioner Olivares. Second by Commissioner Ramirez. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Next item is 4C, RFP. Discuss, consider, and adopt resolution number 2024-14, a resolution to select administration project delivery service providers to complete application preparation project implementation for the Texas Community Development Block Grant Downtown Revitalization Main Street Program administered and funded by the Texas Department of Agriculture.
Yes, sir. Mayor and Commissioners, last time we scored and selected the high scored entity, and on the administration, it was GrantWorks. We do have a representative of GrantWorks here, Mr. Zambrano. The resolution is to make it official so that when we do get asked for the application, it is all in place.
And staff recommends council to approve it. That's the recommendation. And
Yes, sir.
at this time, do we entertain a motion?
I'll second.
A motion to approve item 4C by Commissioner Ramirez, second by Commissioner Escobedo. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Next item is 4D, RFQ. Discuss, consider, and adopt resolution number 2024-15, a resolution to select engineering, architectural, surveying service providers to complete project implementation for Rio Grande's Texas Community Development Block Grant Downtown Revitalization Main Street Program, funding administered by the Texas Department of Agriculture.
This is also the second part of the scoring that was done the last meeting. This is for the engineer to have him on board when we get invited, so we can plan this and submit the plans to the state with the application.
Move to approve, Mayor.
Motion to approve item 4D by Commissioner Ramirez, second by Commissioner De Leon. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Next item is 5, ordinance letter A. Thank you, Ms. Reyes. Second reading of ordinance number 2024-02, an ordinance amending the City of Rio Grande City's ordinances, adding Chapter 18, records management, providing definitions, declaring records as public property, providing a policy for city records, designating a records management officer, providing for a records management plan, providing for duties of records management officer, providing for the establishment of records control schedules and implementation schedules, providing for the repeal of ordinances in conflict, and providing for a severability clause.
Yes, good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. Before you, we do have the second reading of ordinance number 2024-2. Again, the purpose for this ordinance is to establish clear guidelines for how the City of Rio Grande City manages its records.
We entertain a motion or any questions for Ms. Solis on this one? A motion to approve item 5A by Commissioner Ramirez, second by Commissioner De Leon. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Thank you, Ms. Solis. Next item is 5B, second reading of ordinance number 2024-03, an ordinance of the City Council of Rio Grande City, Texas, to officially recognize the name and alley running north to south between North Fairground Road and North Lincoln Street, extending from North Canales Street down to Columbus Street, providing for 2 formal readings and setting forth provisions for adoption. That's item 5B. Any?
Yes, sir. Mr. Milan, this is also a second reading, Mayor, regarding the alleyway that they need an address for 911 and for mail. And I think that the recommended name was Cleo Lane? Is that-
Cleo's Lane. Yes.
Cleo's Lane.
Cleo's Lane.
Apostrophe S Lane.
What's the background on the?
That's
what's the name?
one of the first ladies, grandmother to most of them living in that alley. It's about 6 or 7 homes there that have been there since the mid-1950s, if I'm not mistaken. Again, this is something
This
that
is
is.
something that individuals there are okay with. Mr. Milan.
Correct, yes.
And they
It's
sign something saying that that's what they want.
the same family. And for years, they've had issues with mailing police services, code enforcement, due to being in an alley. They had to resort to addresses along fairgrounds. And at a time of an emergency, all the units were in fairgrounds or code enforcement or the post office, even package delivery.
But it would remain as an alley, not a street, because it doesn't meet the.
Correct. It's just to have identification purposes, to better help in an emergency
It's an
situation.
alleyway, but again, but the people that live in that alleyway, again, just to make sure, they all agree to this name.
Yes, sir. We actually have a list of names there.
Okay. All right. Do we?
So are we voting to give it a name, or are we voting
Correct.
to approve it? Okay.
To give it a name. It's just to give it a name.
I move that we name that alley Cleo's Alley, as recommended.
Cleo Lane or Cleo Alley?
Cleo's Lane.
Cleo's Lane, I'm sorry, Cleo's Lane, okay.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Olivares. Second by Commissioner Ramirez. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. And again, for the record, it's an alleyway, not a street. Correct? Yes, for the record. Next item is 6 contracts and agreements. Letter A, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding the approval of expenditures and contracts valued less than $50,000 but more than $5,000 that comply with or exempt from Section 252.0215 of the Local Government Code.
Yes, Mayor, attached you'll find, it's just one item, I believe, for Public Works for a tractor. And Mr. Herrera put in the cost of a new tractor, which is $53,000, and the repairs for this tractor, a little over $9,000. He has this in his budget for the repairs. It's a big tractor that is needed, especially in the rainy seasons that are coming up. And then we'll hold off on those repairs for a little bit, but it needs to get fixed. So.
Okay, how old is that tractor?
Mr. Herrera?
2014?
2014.
Yes, it's a 2014 John Deere tractor.
What's typically the lifespan of these tractors?
Well, how we use it, it's like we use it a lot. Maybe like 7-10 years.
I would imagine tractor would last a lot more, I guess, but again, I understand there's maintenance to it, so.
Yes.
Again, and it's not bad. I mean, as far as what the repairs going to be made to it, I think 9,000 is a fair price.
Okay, and I got that for a new tractor, but that's on the wish list.
And we just got one last year, right? Was it last year we got a tractor, a shredder? Was it shredder?
We got a 2019, I believe.
The area is growing and the grass is all over the place. So yeah, how many tractors do you have, Mr. Herrera?
We have 2 that are 15-foot wind mowers, and we got that one, which is a 6-footer, and the small tractors, the zero turns.
At this point, do we have this in the budget already to be able to do both of these?
Well, no, it's just a repair. He just put in a quote, Mayor, for the cost of one versus a repair.
The quote was so that we could see the difference.
Correct.
Yeah, you can see the difference of a new one.
At this point, we're just looking at, because
the repair.
The way I'm reading is, we're asking for a new tractor, but that's not the case.
No,
Just to be
we're just asking to repair it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I move that we approve the items presented for the
motion.
overhaul.
By Commissioner Olivares. Second by Commissioner I'm losing my train of thought. It's been one of those days. Commissioner Escobedo, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Next item is 6B, discussion, consideration, and possible action to authorize Deputy City Manager to execute a contract between the City of Rio Grande City Public Library and NetSync Network Solutions for services and/or products in response to Form 470240017395, E-rate funding year 2024-2025.
Mayor Commission, this is what we had brought for you at the special meeting about our E-rate and we're asking for equipment only. Eddie will be doing the services. We already negotiated with them. They sent the contract. So this contract will be for equipment only. And we are recommending the NetSync.
Thank you, Ms. Foltz. I entertain a motion at this time.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Escobedo, second by Commissioner Ramirez. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Next item is 6C, discussion, consideration, and possible action on the approval of the contract between the City of Rio Grande City and AB Quintanilla y Cumbia All-Stars for musical services for the Freedom Fest event on June 29, 2024.
Mayor and Commission, we are preparing for this year's Freedom Fest event, and we can't have an event without some great entertainment. So we're working with our partner Solido, and I know we have the lead singer here with us, on what would be a great group to add to this event this year. So we're going with the recommendation of AB Quintanilla and Cumbia All-Stars. They've been performing live. They draw a great crowd, and we're expecting to have an amazing turnout. And Frank wants to sing Selena on stage.
We entertain a motion at this time.
I recommend that it be approved subject to legal review. We introduced a writer, so we just need them to approve it with a writer.
So they provided a contract to the city, and we'll be providing something for them to sign as well, just for clarification purposes.
Motion to approve subject to
Legal review.
I have a motion by Commissioner Ramirez.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Escobedo. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Next item is 6D, discussion, consideration, and possible action on the approval of the contract between the City of Rio Grande City and DA Crazy Pimps for audio and lighting for the Freedom Festival.
So there's a typo there. They're actually a very religious group.
Oh.
And that's not going to be for audio and
No,
lighting. I'm
Crazy
sorry.
Pimps.
They're performing, they will be performing at our Freedom Fest event, and they play very similar to the Garcia Brothers, variety music, also a great price, I think, for the crowd that they draw.
So it's not for audio and lighting, it's for
I'm sorry, no,
performance.
it is for a performance.
So it's performance, again, just for the record.
And also, there's an approval subject to legal review.
Subject to legal review. At this time, do we entertain a motion?
I move we approve subject to legal review.
Have a motion by Commissioner Olivares. Second by Commissioner Ramirez. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And on this next item is 7, planning, letter A, evaluation and acknowledgement of landowners Victor Beniek, DBA Del Root Investments.
Mayor.
Or RUP?
No,
That's executive.
That's executive.
Okay. Now I have 7 planning, so is there,
executive.
I got 7 executive.
okay, no, I have a wrong one then.
Yeah.
I have executive, okay, so for the record, that's, okay, for the record, that's 7 executive session, chapter 551 Texas Government Code, section 551.071, section 551.072, and section 551.074, personnel matters. This time it is 7:31 p.m. Executive session, reconvene into regular session, consideration of action on matters discussed during the executive session, including the following. There's no action on item 9A, no action on item 9B, and no action on item 9C. And any final announcements, Chief?
Mayor, no, I think they put them all out in the director's report.
All right, so at this time, do we entertain a motion?
So moved, Mayor.
Have a motion to adjourn by Commissioner Olivares, second by Commissioner Ramirez. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Meeting is adjourned.